Yo, yo, welcome to the Purpose Lab. I am Marlon Vickers. Hey, this is my podcast. We're going to explore mental wellness, personal growth, and discovering the purpose you were created for. Guess what? You were created for a purpose. You were created for a reason. And this is the place where purpose is discovered, clarity is built, and you are in the right place. Hey, guess what? Your life is going to be transformed. Welcome to the Purpose Lab. This is a Thankful Thursday. What are you thankful for on today? On my last episode, I was talking about fear. Fear is one of the biggest things and one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people are afraid to step out on their purpose. Not just fear, but also pain. We talked about pain, but now we're going to talk about fear. What is fear? What does fear do to keep you from walking into your purpose? What does fear do that keep you from being focused on what God has called you to do? Fear keeps you small. Fear keeps people small. That means you have small minded thinking. You are afraid to step outside. You are afraid to go out into the deep. You like Peter, you're afraid to get out of the boat and go see what's going on. God is calling you to deeper waters. God is calling you to come out into the deep water, but you're afraid. You have fear because you look out there and you see what's going on and you're afraid to go. What are you afraid of? Well, number one, your fear of failing. You're afraid if you step out, you're going to fall. Fear of people judging you. Yeah, fear of judgment. And you just plainly fear of stepping out. This is the day that you step out. This is the day you don't worry about what people say. This is the day you say, you know what? I'm not concerned about what you say, they said, she said, whoever, because now my fear is not going to control me. I'm going to step out on faith. I'm going to believe what God says. I'm not going to believe what the naysayers say. I'm not going to believe what you said about me. I'm going to believe what God said. Why? Because there's purpose in my life. God created me for a reason, and I'm not going to settle for just anything. No, don't you settle. Purpose requires you to have courage. Purpose requires you to step out and believe God, because sometimes you're not going to have the whole picture, and God's going to give you a little bit of it. And God says, I need you to believe me and trust me. Don't allow fear to cripple you. Fear will cause you to cripple and fall down. Don't allow fear to cripple you. Yeah, yeah. On this thankful Thursday, you ought to be thankful that God has given you everything you need. You ought to be thankful that God is using you. You ought to be thankful that God has given you purpose, and your purpose is on the inside. Like I said in my last episode, your purpose sometimes is birthed through your pain that you go through in your life. And sometimes that fear will cause that pain to cripple you. Why? Because now I'm looking at what I just came through. I'm looking at what I just got out of. And now that pain begins to trickle into your life, trickle into your heart. Now you say, you know what? I'm afraid now. But you just forgot what God just brought you out of. You forgot the storm he just brought you through. You forgot what he just did for you already. Now you're allowing fear to cause you to fall. You allowing what people say about you to cause you to fall. Stop worrying about what they said. Stop worrying about what she said or he said or whoever it is, and start believing in yourself. I dare you today to start believing in yourself and say, you know what? I know that I got purpose in my life. I know God has created me for a reason, and I'm not afraid to step out on it. Don't be afraid to step out on what God is calling you to do. Don't be afraid to say, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. Stop allowing people to tell you what you can and what you cannot do. This is the day you take back your power. This is the day you take back the authority that God has given you and say, you know what? I'm gonna believe in me again. Yeah, yeah, hallelujah. I'm gonna believe in myself now because God has given me everything that I need, and I'm not afraid to step out on faith. I'm not gonna allow fear to control my mind. I'm not gonna allow fear to cripple me and keep me down. This is the day the Lord has made, and I'm going to rejoice in it and be glad. I'm not going to just settle for any old thing. Instead, I'm going to walk in my calling. I'm going to walk in what God created me for. Whatever God told me to do, I'm going to move in purpose. I'm going to move with purpose, and I'm not going to allow nobody to cripple me. I'm not going to allow fear to cripple me, and stop hanging around small-minded thinking people. That mean that people that's always thinking about small things that can't get outside the box. I need some people around me that's going to get outside the box and think bigger, because the smaller you think, that's where your mind is. You got to think outside the box. You got to say, I believe that I can have whatever God told me to have. Purpose. That's what my purpose is. Yeah. You got to say, you know what? I'm not going to be afraid no more. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to step out, and I'm going to start believing. On this Thankful Thursday, you ought to step out on faith. On this Thankful Thursday, you ought to get out the boat. On this Thankful Thursday, you know what? You got to say, I'm going to stop allowing small-minded people to keep me down. You need to have yourself an amazing day. You ought to tell God thank you today. Thank you for watching the Purpose Lab. Be continued, because I got other things coming. Keep watching. Keep believing. Make sure you go and subscribe to all of my streaming platforms. My streaming platforms. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Apple Podcasts. I'm on Spotify. I'm on iHeartRadio. Go look up the Purpose Lab with Marlon Vickers. Go subscribe to all of my streaming platforms. Go follow all my streaming platforms. And if you're on Facebook, look for the Purpose Lab community and come on over and join us where we have a good time. Be part of the community. Say what you need to say and do it good. Have yourself an amazing day. Make sure you like, make sure you share, hit that subscribe button. See you on the next episode. Peace.